All right, it's time. It's it's time to kill some time is really what it is. Just because I have a bunch of free time today, I don't really have enough time to do a full recording session, or I guess I kind of do, but whatever. I'm a little lazy today. We're gonna prep for the raid for fucking Scarlet Violet. So initially my first thought was one Pokemon which might be pretty good is going to be hold on. What the fuck is going on? Oh, here we go. One thought in my head was to prep by using Iron Valiant. So I might raise an Iron Valiant and then because we have Iron Jugulis and and Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane I don't really know much about because I don't have Violet. So I guess I have to see. Let's see. Since I don't play this game anymore. What is this? Oh, okay, it's a Pokemon. Alright. I think I should have one, like, around. Fuck if I remember where all my Pokemon are in this game. Seriously. Alright. So I have this. I don't know if I've ever trained it at all, if I've ever done anything with it at all. That's not gonna help. We don't need speed. This is like a battle one, kinda. Alright, let's roll over. What do I have? Do I have another one? In a Premier Ball, of course, because that's all that matters. If not, I'll go catch one. I should definitely have more than one. Iron. Valiant. You know what? I moved it in Pokemon Home. Yeah, I did. Oh, shit. Alright, well, I gotta go to Pokemon Home then. Fuck that. That's great. Yeah, this has been the first time I put another game in my console since the last time I streamed this game. Because, oh, hello, Ash, welcome. Hunt's BF snuck up behind me and started heavy breathing. Oh my god. Unbelievable. It called you crazy? Oh, that's funny. That's so terrible, man. See, I've done that before to my mom, but I mean, like, she's okay with it. She doesn't panic. She's just like, why are you being a weirdo? And I have to think to myself, like, yeah, I kind of am. But then he called you crazy? Oh, my God. What an interesting, unique fellow. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. See, like, I don't mind light pranks like that if you know the person is receptive to it and won't become disturbed by it, if they'll just laugh it off. But yeah, obviously that's not your case, right? So like it's yeah, he's just being an asshole. All right, where did I put these things? Dude, I had like 4 of them. Did I release them all? No, I might have traded them all. Oh shit. Well, I'll join VC in a little bit. I'm not gonna join right now. Oh, I need to keep my train of thoughts straight here. Here it is. It's not Premier Ball. None of them are. Alright. Well, looks like we're catching a new one. Why did I just boot it? Get me the fuck out. Unbelievable. I guess we'll catch another Bisharp and we'll try to evolve it. I think I have another one around. I need to give it... I think I have to get a leader's credit. Oh, it's so annoying to evolve a King Gambit. That's why I only have one. Because it's very frustrating. It's very tiresome. So yeah, Pal World exists. And it looks better than this game. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, that's great. Listen, I know this is probably the worst stream to try to appeal to people reasonably on, because it's a fucking Pokemon stream. But what is, like, sometimes Nintendo fans, like, and I'm a fan of a lot of Nintendo games, but sometimes some of y'all are just some, well, I guess I shouldn't say it's specifically Nintendo fans. It's like certain franchises, right? So back in the day, it was the Halo fans. I was kind of like, oh, you guys are kind of fucking weird and stupid. And then it was pretty much any Sony fan at this point. I mean, after The Last of Us 2, it's just been a complete cope train, man. Where is Iron Valiant? Is it down below? No, it should be up top. Yeah. I'm ready for Power World as soon as they get on PS5 or PS4. Well, knowing Sony, you're going to be waiting a long while. I'm going to buy it on, what's it called? It's at the bottom, okay. I'm going to buy it on Steam. I'm going to buy it on Steam just so that way they can patch it with the mod for with actual Pokemon. Because someone's going to do it. Like, that one modder who announced it before it was done, I don't understand these fucking idiots. Stop announcing you're going to mod Nintendo shit before it's done. Just drop it, dude. Like you're not going to get paid for it. Just do it. Just drop it on the internet one day, bloop, and then just disappear. I don't understand. They always announce it. I really think they do it for publicity. Am I crazy? No, obviously. You already know you're not. Why are you asking me? You know he's an asshole. Obviously, like, if it was a joke you could handle, I mean, it's not like he just met you, right? Like, if he just met you, I would think it's a little weird to do that, but I can understand, like, oh, well, I didn't know that that's something that, you know, alerts you, it triggers you, it makes you anxious or whatever. That's one thing. But, like, but he should know you by this point. Dude, it's impossible to tell what's a shiny and what isn't in this game, seriously. Good fucking luck. Like, actually. Shiny Giraffe Rig has a blue nose? Okay, well, I'll never see that. Whatever. Not like you could tell in this game between all the stuttering and the frame rate drops. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, and then this is the game that people are, like, dying on the hill of. It's like, bro, do y'all just play no other video games? Like, I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, right, for multiple hours. I played, like, about another 20 hours of that game. Maybe more like 30 hours, right? That playthrough was, what, about 20 hours in? I played another, like, 30 hours of that game in the last, like, 2 weeks. Dude, you can't even say, like, this is good for the console. This is not even good on the console it's on. This is awful. I know I always say this shit, but it just gets me. It's like, this is the game people are, like, standing so fucking hard. Dude, everything about this game could have been on the fucking N64. There's nothing unique about this game at all. It looks like an N64 game with a slightly better frame rate. And I guess the glossiness is kind of good, but, like, is that really what we're gonna say? Like, everything's covered in a shellac, so that makes it good? I don't know, man. Like, there's, like, the Power World discourse, like, first they said it had AI in it, which wasn't true. Then they say it's plagiarizing, which, I mean, at that point, dude, you might as well just start destroying entire genres of games just have to go at that point. Because, like, the games I'm talking about, like, I remember playing XCOM The Bureau Declassified. Now, none of y'all motherfuckers know what that game is. I played that game back when it was new in, like, 2013, and I never finished it because it was literally Mass Effect 2. Like, outright. It had the same abilities, third-person shooter with 2 squad mates. They literally saw Mass Effect 2 in 2010 and were like, wow, this is what we want to make XCOM. Awful game. You'll never hear anyone talk about it because XCOM, Enemy Unknown, and The Bureau completely destroyed it. So you will never hear anyone talk about the XCOM The Bureau, which is tragic because XCOM The Bureau actually could have been a really fucking good game. And the reason I bring it up is because that game flat out copies Mass Effect 2. You know, Darksiders flat out copies, what's the other game? Zelda. So, like, it just seems like it's really, like, cherry-picked when we want to say something is copied or not. And I really kind of fucking hate that, because it's like, well, if being inspired and having similar designs to something is copying, then, bro, it's over for, like, 90% of games. And people start bringing up that Dragon Quest has similar designs to Pokemon, or I should say, rather, that Pokemon has similar designs to Dragon Quest. It's just, I don't want to play that game, because then it just becomes, well, is the game good or not? That's all I really care about at the end of the day. I don't care about, oh, well, it's similar, it's different, because, like, let's be fair here. A lot of times things innovate on the things that come after it. You think that Tears of the Kingdom didn't take anything from any other video game that's come out since Zelda started, you know, existing? Like, come on. Like, it's just getting silly now. And I really hate that because it really shouldn't be this fucking stupid of a, I don't want to say of a debate, but you know, like of just an environment. But I mean, I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, what do I need to catch? Do I have a Bisharp? I always said Bisharp. It's Bisharp. There you go. I think I have to defeat a bunch of other Pokemon. You could pick up the Firefox and use it as a flamethrower. Oh, you mean in Pal World? I was like, what the fuck? Alright. Alright. So these are going to be our two main co-stars for today. I'm going to get to training them in a second. We need to do HP and... What was the other one? HP and attack, I think, on both of them. And this could be horrifically wrong, but these are 5-star Pokemon. So honestly, I don't expect, like, a terrible time with this, no matter how it falls out, to be honest with you. Like, this should be probably one of the easier sets of raids to do. Just saying. And then that way I'll be able to get off this fucking game again until the next major raid. If there will be another major raid, like, are we just gonna go do all the starters now with unique types? Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of it, but I mean, at least it would be something, right? And to generate a King Gambit, I'm gonna make one. I'll just trade it to you. It's not a big deal. In fact, this one right here is almost not even that bad. But you don't need, you need Defiant. I don't think any Pokemon make you flinch in a raid. So I think you'll be fine if you don't have flinch. Alright. Alright. Let's teleport. How much money do I have in this game, actually? Let me look. 100 ah, fuck you, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I hate to turn this stream into the Pal World Defense Force. I just get kind of tired of people cherry picking. You know, like... It just gets kind of annoying, dude. It's just like, listen, it's okay when Call of Duty steals gun game from other games like Counter-Strike and stuff. Nobody bats an eye. People think that's cool. You know, like, the entirety of Darksiders is effectively just God of War and Zelda. God of War takes from Devil May Cry. They even cited it as an inspiration. Like, at what point is it okay and at what point is it not? You know, like, I don't know, man. That to me, like, there's... Technically, like, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg has fucking Pokemon in it, or, you know, animal helpers. So are animal helpers just off limits? It's all so superficial. It's all so bland. It's just tiring. And most of the people talking about this shit, bro, Nintendo is not gonna fuck you, dude. I promise you, Game Freak is not gonna make their games better. I'm going to be the first person to let you know now. Game Freak is not going to sit out here and they're not going to go out of business. So that's what you're worried about. I mean, if you're worried about them going out of business because someone else made a better product, you just got problems. That's literally how business works. People make products, and if they're better than the other person, then that's how tides change. Remember when the 360 was destroying the PS3 because it was cheaper, it was out first? Yeah, you had to pay for online, but the online was good, and there was tons of good shooters and action games and things like that. What'd you have on the fucking PlayStation? It was mostly a single-player console. It wasn't the same, you know? Didn't have party chat, remember that? Party chat didn't exist until the PS4. Motherfuckers think I forgot about that. I remember this shit crystal. PS2 dominated. Microsoft shows up out of nowhere, has a cheaper console and a better lineup. Motherfuckers jump ship. And then they jump ship again back to Sony. That's just how business is. I don't know any of the Pokepals or whatever they're called. I don't know any of the pals at all. I'm gonna play it fresh. I know nothing about these people or these things. Wait, what Pokeball is this in? Oh, it's in an Ultra Ball. All right, never mind. You're fired. Actually, I do need to evolve it. Yeah, I do need to evolve a by... but I already wasted the 20,000. I guess the 20,000 doesn't matter, does it? That sucks. I'll go catch another one. But before I do that, let me put this thing away so it doesn't get any IV. Should I? It does matter what Pokeball it's into me. I really should. I'm lazy. I already spent the money. Whatever, fuck it. We'll just roll with it. It ain't that big a deal. How many bottle caps do I have? Darn form Lycanroc. I thought Dusk form was really nice. I had a really good time with Sun and Moon, obviously. I mean, like, that's the other thing is, like, half of y'all have been complaining about Pokemon forever. So now it's kind of like, oh, well, Pokemon is fucking, like, some of y'all have been complaining about Pokemon every iteration ever. Like, so now the Pokemon fans are all of a sudden, like, on the super defense. Maybe they're, I'll be fair, it's a big fan base. It's bigger than most. It's probably not exactly the same people. But, you know, like, people have been asking for Game Freak to step it up for a long time. And I don't even just mean, like, the story or whatever. Like, I mean just generally the fucking features. Like, how many times are they gonna remove shit? You know, like, no contests? They bring it back and then they're like, well, we want to keep things fresh. You're just fucking lazy, dude. So I don't blame Pal World for showing up. If you leave a big gaping opening in the market, eventually someone is going to come along and take it. Like, someone's going to come along and do something with it. Like, shit. Should we be mad at people for filling a niche? This is like the same kind of conversation I was having a few months ago. I was like, what makes a first-person shooter a first-person shooter? Is it, you know, Doom and Wolfenstein style shooters because those were the first, so they're the most true first-person shooters? Is it the Call of Duty brand, you know, the actiony arcade team deathmatch Warzone style shooters because those are the most popular? What about the Counter-Strike Rainbow Six Siege models, you know, where it's fast-paced, high-intensity action? You know what I mean? Like, who's drawing the line for what defines what? You know? I think it's a little fucked up to have a company come out. They're the underdog. It's basically a small indie team of like a dozen or so people. They barely even know how to code. They barely even knew anything. They come out and they make a game that has sold millions of copies in literally like only a few days. Like, that should be like the story of Legends. We should be in awe that these people are able to do this against literally the industry titan. But instead, I think people are just more upset and annoyed. And it's just like, all right, that's kind of fucked a little bit. Where am I going in? Back up north. Oh, I didn't even check. What is my... Oh, fuck. Oh, fighting is actually good. Yeah, you want fighting, because I'm going to use Drain Punch and Iron Jugulis. Alright, cool. Alright. Fighting wouldn't be good against Flutter Mane, though. But that's because Iron Valiant wouldn't be good against Flutter Mane anyway. Yeah, Poison wouldn't be good either because Ghost resist... Oh no, because it'll be Terra stalled. Yeah, so Poison could work if you have a Poison type. I don't know what Poison type would work really well, but I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, even something like Gastrodon potentially could be really good, right? Because you could just use Recover. Maybe, I don't know. Again, optimal strats. We're already dealing with Pokemon that are going to be pretty easy anyway because they're 5 stars. But I think I'm going to have to go run around the Kitakami Wastes for like 20-40 minutes. Because that's the fastest way to make money. Psychic... No. It's not going to be a Poison Terror type. I'm saying using a Poison Terror type against Flutter Mane. And I remember that Flutter Mane is Fairy Ghost, but then I remembered it's Terra stalled. So it won't have Ghost resistance. And honestly, I don't even know if that's true, because a lot of poison moves you hit defense, and Psychic types don't always have the best defense. So like a lot of times you'll see Alakazams get bodied by moves that they're weak to, but because their physical defense on Alakazam is so low, it just gets completely bowled through. So sometimes that's not always true. Oh my god, they're awful. Alright. All right. Let's go get money, I guess, because I'm gonna need it. Hopefully we don't get another shiny out here, because I'm not paying attention today. I'm tired. I ate too much. I mean, I guess that's really what it is. I ate too much. I don't really want to sit down and do a recording session if my stomach isn't feeling too good. Massive copium response. Like, damn, remember when every fucking game coming out was a battle royale? Where was the fucking plagiarism squad when every game was copying fucking PUBG? Like, seriously. That's what I mean. It's so selective, the outrage. It's like, dude, where were any of y'all when, like, the actual plagiarism games came out? Remember when every game was a fucking PUBG clone? Every game had a battle royale after PUBG? No one says anything about that? I'm gonna close the window in a minute. I guess I'll close it now, actually. Let me get this. Okay. Alright. It's kind of cool today anyway. I don't think I need to have it open. Every game was a battle royale. Just like how after Call of Duty, every game had the same Call of Duty RPG style level up system. It's the Nintendo Own Defense Force. But seriously, every game became a COD multiplayer, which I was fine with. I thought that was fine. You level up, you unlock new characters, new abilities. But then it got to a point where it's like even games that don't need it have it, right? So like Resident Evil had a fucking multiplayer with stuff in it. It's like, why does Resident Evil need a multiplayer like this? You know, like just having a Dead by Daylight mode in Resident Evil 3. I don't even know if it's still live, just so they could pad out the price tag. For fuck's sake, like Resident Evil 3 could have just been $30. It could have been an expansion, a standalone expansion to Resident Evil 2. They didn't do that. Like it's so I really hate the obvious blatant. Why is it too slow now? What the fuck? Keep up. I really hate how obvious and blatant this is. I think that's what really irks me about it, is that it's so fucking obvious that people are like, well, Pokemon is my golden nostalgia child. And like, I get it, right? I'm a huge nostalgia fan of Pokemon too. That's why I still play this fucking garbage. Oh, Jesus. I wouldn't even bother otherwise. Playing a Pokemon game in the modern era is just asking for fucking suffering, because this shit is awful, man. Like, this feels like the fan game. And that's why I think the memes coming out are so funny. Because it's like, this game feels like a fan-made game, like they outsourced it to like a bunch of teenagers, maybe gave it a couple coats of paint, and called it a day. And I think that that's the problem, is that like, you can't, this is not even like a subjective matter. I mean, just look at this shit. Like, if I were to boot up Tears of the Kingdom, even Tears looks better, you know? And Tears has a defined art style. It has multiple things going on, you know, you have all the cool effects, the gloom sort of like waving around like fog or smoke, stuff like that. You have combat. What? Anyway, you have combat, all sorts of stuff. Like, Game Freak could barely be asked to even have walking Pokemon. You ask Game Freak to do something, you get a billion excuses why they can't. But seriously, someone should ask them why they fucking have such an egregious monetization practice. I mean, they probably won't. I don't think that they ever really ask hard-hitting questions like that. But seriously, someone should seriously ask them, like, why do you make people buy the DLC? They could only get one of the legendaries, so then they have to buy the other game so they could get the other Pokemon they're missing, so they could own both Pokemon. Like, it's obvious. This is what I was telling a friend of mine. I'm like, this is why they dropped Gotta Catch 'Em All. Because if I want to use a Pokemon from the other version, no friend is going to give me their legendary. Like, that makes no sense. It's their legendary. It inherently, it's rare. And who knows, maybe someday they'll want to do something with it. It's also just that it's their legendary. Like, unless I pay them money. But now we're talking about real money transactions for fucking Pokemon. And that's why people just go on Pokemon duplicato.gg and they just buy fucking Pokemon for like $5, and then that way they don't even, and that's just money that Game Freak loses. That's just money that escapes the system. So that, like, it's that type of stuff that I'm saying. It's like, does anyone ever ask them why they have egregious and terrible monetization practices? They're not like loot box level, right? Like, you're guaranteed to get it, like you get a full other game. But I mean, like, are these games really even worth replaying 90% of the time? I mean, I would argue no. And most people seem to agree. They say, oh, it takes too long, there's too much dialogue, too much hand-holding. Like, I like the idea that the Pokemon games are now more open. I think that Nintendo embracing open world gameplay is pretty cool. Now, they didn't invent that. They took that from a long line of motherfuckers that had overworlds and open worlds. So that's not even their thing. I guess they're plagiarizing. It's all stupid. It reminds me so much of Hogwarts last year, where Hogwarts was like the demon child game. Like, you're putting entire groups of people to the sword by playing a fucking video game. But for years, no one says anything about, you know, the portrayal of black people in gang-based games and stuff. No one says a goddamn thing about that. You play a Harry Potter game, of all fucking games, a Harry Potter game. Probably one of the most least offensive IPs you could possibly think of that's, like, mainstream. It's insanity. You know, you have IGN reviewers putting, like, moral quandaries. Should you play the game is the real question. Dude, fuck off. You didn't say jack shit when Call of Duty and all these other franchises were ripping people off. That's what I hate about this shit. You have no problem with when your fans get ripped off, but when your agenda gets threatened, oh my god. These dudes had to be probably dragged kicking and screaming to get Modern Warfare a fucking 6 or whatever they gave it. And that's sad, too. Because there's been lots of COD games that have been given the it's the same game every year treatment that have actually tried to innovate and do things differently, and I feel bad for them. And now I just feel like Call of Duty just has the same thing, it cycles over and over again. They're going to have some new Black Ops, which will be like a pseudo-historical or a futuristic shooter. They have Modern Warfare, which is just as the name suggests. And then they just have like a random Hail Mary, a World War II shooter. And they basically cycle that every year or two. They knew they weren't going to release a fucking Call of Duty this year. That's why they said they weren't. But they had to go back on it because they wanted money and they wanted to do the fucking merger. And now you fast forward, they're laying off 1,900 people from Activision Blizzard. You know? Which in and of itself is tragic, but also funny because everyone said learn to code. And now you learn how to code and AI shows up. And now the AI is just going to code instead of you. So it's kind of fucked. But I mean, like, that's just how fucked up life is. I don't mean to be a fucking nihilist, but it's depressing, you know? But I remember people were making fun of the fucking oil miners when they shut down the oil rigs. And I was just like, well, that's kind of fucked. Like, none of you could do what they do, and we need oil. Like, I don't know how much of a climate fucking goon you are. We are not just going to cut fossil fuels tomorrow and still have a functioning society. You're not going to build enough fucking windmill turbines or whatever to be able to fund all of, like, just entire portions of the U.S. alone. And it was fucked what they did to them. And they had no problem doing it to them. And so now I don't feel bad for a lot of these people. I'm not saying that they're necessarily, every one of them is the ones that were laughing at these people. It's just mutual apathy. It's like, well, if they're so expendable, who's to say that, you know, like, you aren't expendable? And I mean, let's be fair here. Some of y'all just write about video games and you don't even do that well. You know what I mean? Like, some of y'all, we could replace you at YouTubers, and, like, I mean good YouTubers, right? Like, not just any generic YouTuber. We could replace some of y'all with YouTubers, and y'all would just be out of a job. Y'all are legacy. YouTubers do this shit. They hire their own editors. They're true blue gamers and shit. There's a lot more that could go on with that. I just hate that. It's fucked. Anyway, that's another thing for another time. But you see what happens. Like, Microsoft is, I think Microsoft just wants to withdraw from the console race. And I don't say that because they're losing sales or anything. I think they will continue to make games. I don't know what they're going to do with regards to the consoles that they make, because they have basically no exclusives. So unless they're playing, like, the super long game, I don't know what to tell you. They might be playing like a super like 8-year chess game against Sony, and Sony doesn't even know. I mean that. Oh shit! I thought that was an actual rock for a second. And that would be kind of cool, but like I don't know, man. They lay off the physical division, so like the reason why I'm really antsy about that is because like as we see with the Discovery pulling shows off of Sony, whatever it was, Sony Viewing or whatever on the PlayStation, it's like you just don't own anything, and it just gets very tiring when it's like, well, everything is offered to you as is, and we could just rescind it at any point, and you could just go fuck yourself. I really hate that, personally. I like owning my stuff. I like looking at a wall. It's like going into a library. You look at a big wall of books. I like doing that with my games. I think that's one of the most fun parts of owning tons of video games, is being able to look at them, have individual memories with all of them, things like that. It's different than, you know, oh, well, it's just data. You know, like, wait, hold on a second. Was that a shiny? Oh, shit! Throw the Pokeball. Hilarious. Yo, I recognize the shiny because if you go on Bulbapedia, they have shiny Sandshrew as the example from Gen 2 to Gen 4 when they had Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They show the same scene in both games, which is kind of neat. I actually like that. See, this is a shiny I recognize, so this one was easy to pick out. Good luck with some of the other ones, I guess. Alright, very nice. Look at this thing, it's beautiful. I don't know what I do with it, but whatever. Very nice. See, some of the shinies are obvious. Like, a lot of the earlier shinies are pretty obvious, except for, like, Chansey and Tauros, maybe? No, Tauros is green. Cantonian Tauros. I forget about some of the other ones. And that's the thing I hate, is, like, at least if you play Arceus, you know what's a shiny, but I've ranted about this. I'm not even gonna bother. But yeah, no, I hate that games are offered to you as is, and then just one day they could just say, well, the game sucked, it didn't go anywhere, and we're rescinding it, and you're just no longer gonna have access to it. And that just happened with Gundam Evolution. Like, people put money into that game. People really thought that was going to be like the weeaboo Overwatch. And it was fun. You could tell it's a pretty bare bones game, but it was enjoyable. And so my big thing is like, well, it had no single player. You couldn't play with bots. It had no other modes. It was just only online. It was only versus. And when you have a game that doesn't have any other modes at all, like, the minute the servers die or the minute that people stop playing it, it's dead. Like, there's nothing else to do in the game. And that's why this is one thing I think that Sony did right, especially if you're an achievement hunter, is that Sony will add trophies to a game. It'll be like the base game, and then it will be like the DLC, like DLC 1, DLC 2. What I think that they should do for Sony games, and they've done it with a couple probably, is they should have all the single player trophies be in the main game with the platinum, and all the multiplayer trophies should be its own separate like add-on pack. And one game that did this was Ghost of Tsushima, which is actually something I like. So if you wanted to get the platinum for Ghost of Tsushima, I mean, platinuming is different than all achievements anyway, but if you wanted to get the platinum for Ghost of Tsushima, it's very easy actually. It's much easier than, you know, like a game today, like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on the 360. Yeah, good fucking luck, dude. But yeah, like, I don't like this era of everything is as is. So Microsoft will sell you a digital game, and that's why I'm not like a fan of Alan Wake being only digital, right? Like, to me, especially of all fucking games, Alan Wake, a game about a novelist, right? Talk about like a book on a shelf or something, right? Like, I feel like that's definitely not something that they should do. It's just them wanting to cut costs. It's not even a matter of profitability. It's not like games are not profitable because they go physical. If a game is not profitable, that's just because they fucking didn't make it correctly. I don't want to fight you. Oh my god. If a game is not profitable in today's era, that's just because they sunk too much money into it. There's no advertising, right? Dude, come out. Thank you. It's not a matter of advertising or something, right? It's not like, oh, well, we don't know how to sell a video game. No, people have been doing this since before some of your coders were probably born. So it's like, at this point, you know, you just have to ask yourself, like, what are they doing wrong, right? And I think Ratchet and Clank shows it. I think that what the latest Ratchet and Clank between Rifts or whatever, Rifts Apart, they're just funneling too much money in. I think that they're killing it on graphics, they're killing it on marketing, they're doing way too much. When at the end of the day, all they need to do is just make a fun Ratchet and Clank platformer with some new levels. Now, obviously, it's easier for some franchises than others, but why the fuck is Ratchet and Clank the franchise that's taking up $81 million? That's like how you guarantee you will never make a Ratchet and Clank game again. I think that someone on these boards, multiple people on these boards, probably think that if you put more money into something, it'll just do better. And I think that there are a lot of very special words I don't want to say on stream, but I think it's fucking dumb to assume that we put more money into something, therefore it's good. Like, even Rockstar games, right? And Rockstar games have been some of the most funded games ever. And even Rockstar games have good story, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of GTA 5. At least it has a good story, right? I just think there's other better stories, right? There's gameplay elements, even if you were to downgrade it, right? Like, I just played Red Dead, like, what, 5, 6, 7 months ago, right? In like summer-ish. And Red Dead 1 holds up, man. Outside of like the weird jankiness of my PS3 controller, like, it holds up. It's a very solid title. Even without the online services, Red Dead 1 is still a fully playable, fully well done game. And you gotta respect that. I think that's really well done. Especially since nowadays you could buy Red Dead for like, I don't even know, $5, $7, let alone the shitty port. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like even Red Dead holds up. Why? Because it, like, yeah, the multiplayer was cool and all. Yeah, it's there. I think you could still maybe jump into like a solo lobby. I don't know. But like, if nothing else, it is still one of the most standout, well done single player campaigns of its time. Mind you, the time in question is 2010. Like, seriously. That's what I mean. Dumping money into something, using an IP as like a fucking skeleton suit, is not good enough anymore. It sucks. People are gonna see through that. Like, I don't think a bunch of people went out and bought Pal World just to spite Game Freak. Oh shit. I think they bought it because it looks good. My voice is pretty it's much better than it was this weekend. This weekend I was having voice cracks. I was like, oh my god, I'm fucked up. But I still need some water from time to time. I'm gonna be careful. I'm very sensitive to getting dry throat. So like when I start talking a lot, I gotta drink a lot. It's actually kind of part of the reason I don't want to drink alcohol lately, to be honest, because alcohol dries me out. Like, yeah, it's nice to get a buzz on, and technically, if I wanted to, I could drink myself fucking completely shit-faced today. But, like, do I want to? Like, I'm gonna have a fucking ridiculous headache tomorrow. Yeah, I'll think about it. I don't know, man. I have to rate anyway. It wouldn't be fair to my fucking static members. You know, they bought it out of spite. It's needed to shake Game Freak awake. They're not gonna shake Game Freak awake. People, even the Game Freak defenders, are deluded into thinking this will change what Game Freak is going to do. Like, you could buy every Pokemon game used, and they get nothing from it, right? And they're still not going to change it. The Pokemon is too profitable. That's why people know how bad this fucking game is. Because everybody played it. Everybody bought it. You want to know what games people didn't buy and play? That has me fucked up? Why did you... What is with... The AI is so fucking bad. I mean, you're watching it in action. You want to know what games people didn't go out and buy and play? Here you go. Three houses. Most popular game in its franchise, still only sold a fraction of what this game did. Alright, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Three Hopes, right? Fucking Arceus did not even sell as much as this game. It sold about half, if you could believe it. Pikmin 4, Metroid Dread. There are so many other games on this console that are just more effort, better done. It's just that Pokemon is what people know. And hell, make this game fucking sell, by the way. Please. All the feminists, all the women lovers. Yeah, men don't want to play as women. Can you fucking make Metroid sell, please? Shut the fuck up and buy Metroid. I hate that shit. Once every few months, I see someone say like, well, if people knew Samus, if Samus came out today, people wouldn't like it. It's like, bitch, I've been playing games with Samus since I was like 8. Since I was 7. I hate these people, man. No one gives a fuck if it's a male character or a female character. You wanna know what's fucking cool about fucking Metroid Dread? Samus doing cool shit. Samus ripping fucking Kraid's mouth open and shooting missiles down his throat. And that's like a cool action you have to work to get. That's fucking cool. Or just in the Prime series in general. No one cares about that shit. That's another rant. But I saw a post about that today. I'm like, people are like, post a badass female protagonist. I'm like, yeah, it's Samus. And then this person comes along and they get like 20,000 likes. It's like, who the fuck are you people? What are these bots? These either literal Twitter bots or actual NPCs that think this way? As if dudes weren't the ones buying fucking Metroid. You think if dudes cared that Samus was a woman, they would have come back for like 10 other games and then bitched about her not being in Federation Force? I don't know what fucking reality these people live in. I genuinely don't. That's why I think they're fucking delusional. Dudes hated Samus so much in fucking 1986, they proceeded to buy the fuck out of her games. It's hate buying. We don't actually love. I've had someone tell me this. The only reason you like Samus is so you could sexualize her. I was like, I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about, dude? Like, how do you even discuss something with someone like that? Dudes can only play games with women in it, or with dudes in it. Damn, man. I remember when people thought Gears of War was a sausage fest. And I've seen one dude say that you're a closet homosexual if you like Gears of War. Although I'm not gonna lie though, when dudes were humping in Gears of War, that is a little sus. I'm not even gonna front. I know it's shit posting, but like seriously, like that's all we're gonna play? Just every game has to be Gears of War? This is why I hate a lot of y'all gamers, man. Some of y'all are fake as fuck. Even funnier, they had lawyers play Pal World. Yeah, there's no case here. There's no case. If there's a case for Pal World to be sued out of existence for Pokemon, then Square Enix, they won't do this, but Square Enix should just sue the fuck out of them for the designs that they clearly took from fucking Dragon Quest. There's no case here. The only case that they have is that Pokemon mod, which I'm hoping someone makes one day and just doesn't put behind a paywall and just drops. It'll happen someday. That's exactly why I'm playing it on PC. There's no case here. It's all people getting mad that their nostalgia cow might actually have to innovate. That the poor old Game Freak working their asses off to sell 30 million copies of a literal N64 game might actually have to innovate a little bit and put a little more effort into their work. And I want you to think about that. Like, some of the people that actually work who are defending this, you probably work harder than they do, ultimately. It's crazy. Now, people knew in the NES era, wasn't that that's the Justin Bailey shit? You either remember in the original Game Over for Metroid, she bursts into pieces. They didn't have the Zero Suit like death animation, but they knew in the first game you have to beat it. That's now you see, there's the fucking caveat. You have to beat Metroid 1. Metroid 1 is not like Zero Mission. Metroid 1 is a fucking obnoxious nightmare to get through. Of passcodes, save data. There's no traditional save system in that game at all. So you're beating that game in one sitting, or you're gonna write down a code. And that's why Engage Ridley motherfucker does not work. Oh shit, should I show that? Yeah, I love showing that. Hold on, let me see. Do I still have access to the NES thing? Do I still have access to it? Oh, Lord, where is it? Here we go. Oh, dude, Metroid 1 is fucking... What? Oh, because I had this on my original Switch. Yeah, okay, never mind. All right, forget it. Forget it. Yeah, if you type engage Ridley motherfucker, the game crashes. And some people thought that was like some secret code back in the day. They're like, engage Ridley motherfucker, and Ridley crashes your game. No, it's not like a hard-coded crash like 1984, or was it the Bite of 87, 1987 in FNAF? It's not like that at all. Don't worry. It's the specific like coding it calls does not allow the game to boot, if I remember correctly. It has nothing to do with the word Ridley being in it. It's purely coincidental, which is actually really funny when you think about it. Out of all phrases that there's other phrases I believe that crash it. I'd have to look into it again. But that's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. The engage Ridley is the one that breaks the shit. Let alone the motherfucker part of it, right? Like, this is Nintendo in the 80s. Dude, the idea of saying fuck in a game on a Nintendo console probably... Oh my god. What was the first Nintendo console game to say the F word? It had to be GameCube era. If that. What was the first swear word on a Nintendo console? Like an actual swear word. Axel in Chain of Memories says, give me one hell of a show, Sora. But, like, what was the first time someone actually swore, like, hardcore in a Nintendo console? Not even a Nintendo game, just a game licensed on their console. Eternal Darkness? I don't even think Eternal Darkness swears. And that is a very depressing, grim game about existential horror. It's basically a Lovecraftian game. I know that term gets thrown around all the time, but you're pretty much fighting ancient Cthulhu monsters across 3 different playthroughs. That's also one of the few games I would say play it on easy mode. Playing it on easy mode is the most fun way to play that game. For sure. Now, again, playing that game is a pain in the ass, and Nintendo has yet to re-release it. That would be a perfect re-release, honestly. But yeah, you get the point. Yeah, no, I wish, well, like, it's ironic. Like, who kept fucking Bayonetta's lights on? Probably a bunch of dudes. And when you consider it, I can't even think of a more feminist game than Bayonetta. Like, seriously. What could possibly be more feminist than Bayonetta? I struggle to imagine a game. And the irony is that the feminists hated Bayonetta. Meanwhile, a lot of dudes were like, dude, this is like Devil May Cry, but fucking hilarious. That's my draw. It's like Devil May Cry, but instead of Dante giving like one-liners and quips and doing some cool shit, Bayonetta is just jacked up to like 11. She's absolutely hilarious. I love Bayonetta. Those 2 games are so stupidly good, and the 3rd game is definitely the weakest. It's funny, it's silly, it's cartoonish, it's stupid, it's hilarious, and no one wanted to make a sequel except for Nintendo, and Sega let them. I know it doesn't stand for it, but you would think that would be the game that they would like the most. It's literally everything they want. That's why I say nothing's ever good enough for these people. I would argue partially because most of them probably aren't gamers. And I'm not saying I'm not saying there aren't real problems we could address and things, but like Hogwarts Legacy, Palworld, and Bayonetta are not those real problems. The realest problem is that Bayonetta 3 was a screaming mid-game, and Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch is a broken pile of ass. That's the real problem. Oh man, I'm still a little stuffed up. I mean, but is it any secret that indie devs are doing better than Game Freak? I really hate that. Like, people look at this and they're like, wow, this is the best the Switch can do. And I'm like, bro, there is an entire library of games that perform better than this. Even Doom 2016 is, I believe, 60 FPS, 720. No, I think it might be 30 on this console. I take that back. I think it's 30. But it's locked. It doesn't have frame rate drops, unlike this game. Alright, let's go. I don't know. Maybe they stop spawning stuff if you have too much. I don't know how this works. Technically, you're supposed to do that every day, but I don't do it every day because I don't fucking play this game every day. But yeah, I don't know. The Pal World discourse just reminds me of the Hogwarts shit. They're indirectly funneling coal into this game stocking, basically. Although I think Hogwarts was a lot of people just wanting to see if it really was this, like, ridiculous manifesto against people. Like, damn, dude, I'm gonna get offended at fucking Rockstar games then, man. I'm tired of every black dude in a Rockstar game being some kind of con artist or liar or manipulator or gangster or robber or criminal or anything along those lines. And again, my argument isn't even that there's white people that do it. It's just why every time there's a black dude in a fucking GTA game, I feel like I just step back into the fucking hood. There's, like, I don't live in the fucking hood. I don't act like I'm in the hood. I feel offended. Oh, I guess Rockstar shouldn't do it. No one's ever says anything about that. I could laugh at the parody. Should I get really... That's what it is, a parody. Should I get really serious and really offended about it? Rockstar's not gonna fuck me, dude. And same way Game Freak is not gonna fuck any of these people. They won't even do you the solid of releasing a quality product. Nintendo doesn't care. Nintendo is hands off about this. They don't give a shit. At least we can expect quality from Metroid. That's one of the few things I have going for me, man. Like that to me, when I played Dread, that shit was fire, dude. Metroid Dread was seriously one of the best games I played that year. I fucking loved that. You could tell they put a lot of effort and energy into it. I caught 3 shiny Cyclozars in 1 outbreak. I can't even get a single. Congratulations, Xavier. Let me congratulate you first before I complain about my bad shiny luck. Now, I don't know how good of a shiny Cyclozar is, but yeah. Lord knows I can't get any of the shinies I want. Yeah, see, I think once you pick up so many items in an area, they don't respawn any. Alright, so let's move on. I'm gonna go level up now. Or do stuff. There we go. So we need HP, and we need HP. And we need attack. Yeah, we need it for both of them. Why are we even playing this? Because I have free time and I need to prep for the raid. And I just said I don't want to record today. Because my stomach's a little upset. Oh no, Donkey Kong is still happening. Don't worry. Unless I'm dead asleep. Which won't happen. Donkey Kong is still happening. In fact, once I have these Pokemon, like... Oh wait, do I even have candies? Oh, fuck. What is even a good way to level up? This game sucks. Why am I even playing this game? That is a good question. Why am I even doing any of this? Why am I genuinely even doing this? Damn, 10 Pomegs? Holy shit. You know what? Do I just have a good... What do I have in my boxes? I'm tired. We're gonna play Donkey Kong now, honestly. How bad could it be, honestly? Alright, so you know what? Because Raiden raises a good point, and I hate this game, I'm gonna actually just go play Donkey Kong. That is a good point. Raiden is smarter than I am, clearly. Okay, boot this up. Whoop. Boot this up. I will end the stream though. You're gonna have to give me a little bit. I'm gonna let me move the Donkey Kong stream up like right now. Okay, what time is it set for? 10 p.m. All right, let's move it to 4:45. Even though I know I'll be ready before then. There you go. So now I could just end this stream. We're going to go right over to the... What's it called? We're going to go right over to the Donkey Kong stream, okay? Alright, very nice.